So where are you, Pallabi?
I'm from Assam.
Assam. Okay, nice.
So what
So you
about
know I
you?
am in Bangalore, right?
What?
I'm in Bangalore.
Yeah, I got to know you. So nice to meet you. So
Yeah. So
are you into any other profession besides this wildlife artist?
no, I am not into any other profession. I am an engineer by education, but and I'm that too a software engineer. But I tried working. No, Bangalore is a software capital, right?
Yes.
So so I tried working, but it was not at all what I like to do. So I stopped. I didn't even last 4 or 5 months. Bas stop kar diya.
Okay, that's fine. So we shall start now.
Sure.
Yeah. Art is born of observation and investigation of nature, said by Marcus Siqueiro. Hi guys, this is Pallabi from the studio. Today you are watching Personalities with Pallabi only on Kumari Pallabi 19. Guest for today's evening is an amazing wildlife artist who is a software engineer by education and a wildlife artist by passion. So without any further delay, let's get started. Hello and welcome Miss Sudha ji to this session of interview. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello, Pallavi. And it's my pleasure to be here and my pleasure to be interacting with all of your guests and followers also. Thank you.
Welcome. So at first, we would like to know about yourself a little bit, as our audience are unaware about your work, etc.
Yeah, so about myself, my name is Sudha. I live in Bangalore, India. And my background is that I grew up in America, actually.
Okay.
And I wanted to come back to India. So when I got married, I made sure that I married a person who lives in India and who wants to live in India. And so in 1987, I got married to my husband, Madhusudan. And I still had one more year for my degree. So in 1988, I came back to India and I came to Bangalore. And since then, I have been here. I'm enjoying living here in Bangalore. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Okay, so sweet of you, and it's really interesting that you are still connected to the roots. Well,
Very much, very much. My children are abroad, and so I do go visit them. But I'm always waiting to come back.
okay. So let us know, how did you shift from software engineering to wildlife artist?
So I was educated as a software engineer, but I tried working because I'm sitting right in the middle of the software engineering capital of the whole,
Capital.
maybe of India for sure.
Yeah.
So I tried working in Infosys. I had got a good job offer, and I tried. But like I tell everybody, first month was very thrilling. It was honeymoon. Second month, it reality struck. Third month, I felt that I can't do this kind of work because I felt like something I was choking, and after 3 months, and I had already by then two children. So I found that I was not able to balance things. And so after 3 months, I left. And I just told them, no, like the hours were very strange and weird. And then they called me back. They said, you can have your own hours and all these things. So I got very tempted. I went back. But then I realized, no, it is not for me. So after that, I quit the software industry and I told myself, don't ever get tempted again to join. So that is my work story is that much.
Okay. So could you recall any story during your software engineering study days?
Software engineering study days was in America, and it was a lot of fun. You know how study days will be like with friends uh, and hanging around in campus, and the thing I can remember is those days the PC was new. Okay, we used to have in our computer lab we would have huge big mainframes, and PC was an exciting new thing that had come.
Okay.
And so we would work on PC, but we would not get a printout immediately when whatever we worked. We would have to we'd have to give the printout instructions, and it was called batch printout. So we'd have to give the printout instructions and then go out and eat something, have some coffee, something, then go back and collect our printout, which will be printed and ready. It was the dot matrix printer.
Okay.
Yeah, those were the days like that. But it was just a lot of fun. College is fun, right?
Yeah. So why did you want to get back to India? Any means was there any particular incident that happened to you?
No particular incident. I did not want to leave India in the first place, but I was only 10 years old, and my parents had full control over where I would be, right?
Yeah.
So my mother and father, when they immigrated to America, my brother and I, we had to go with them.
Okay.
So I was just waiting for opportunity to come back to India, because for me, I don't know how to explain it, but for me, my soul is happy only in India.
Okay.
So I was just waiting. I told my father I want to go back to India. So he said, you're a woman, and this is in the 80s, right? So he said, you're a woman, you have every opportunity to work, in America, because I'm a citizen. So then he said, but once you start working in America, it is like a golden trap. You will get trapped, because you will start building up your loans, your debts, and the next paycheck and things like that. He said, you can have a good life here, no doubt. But if your heart says you want to go to India, no, you go when you are getting married, you find a person who wants to live there. So that's how I said, okay, that's a good idea. And I asked my, it was an arranged marriage. I asked him, do you want to go to America? Because everybody wanted to go to America those
Yeah,
days.
that's defect.
Yeah, it was like that was a one-way road, and I'm trying to come the other way. So my husband said, no, I have no interest in going to America. And he thought I want him to go. So, he thought he's giving the wrong answer. Then I told him, no, I'm happy you don't want to go.
Okay.
Even I don't want to go. So I'm happy to marry you only.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is 35 years.
Okay.
35
Yeah,
years.
that might be the turning point in your life because you are here, there where you wanted to be earlier.
Yes.
So
I
why
really
all?
wanted to be in India.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be in India. And I came here, and it was not easy. It was small difficulties were there. Just people used to ask me, Pallabi, like, was it hard to come to India, right? So I asked them, isn't it hard to go to America? कि यहाँ सब छोड़ के you go to America,
Yeah.
you're not asking that question, no? Why are you asking for me to come back? This is my home country. So I was very happy to come back.
Yeah. So let's talk about a wildlife art. So why only wildlife art?
So I have a very interesting thing that I was not allowed to draw or paint when I was young, because we were immigrants in the US, and as immigrants you have to study something to earn a living, right?
Yeah.
Because there is no background wealth or background anything for us.
Okay.
So my parents were very, very discouraging, that I should not draw or paint. And I'm an artistic person, so for me it was difficult to not draw or paint. But I was warned very strictly, no, you have to study properly. Okay, you can't be like, okay, this is a waste of time kind of a thing. So I said, okay, fine. And therefore I became an engineer. I enjoyed that also, no doubt. But after marriage, and I would sketch and I would draw, but I would do it secretly. Okay, I would do it. My parents would not know. So then one day, and I had kept it in a file and all that, and I had kept it away somewhere. I thought it's not important. Then one day my husband found it, and he asked, "Whose are these drawings?" And I looked at it. I said, "My drawings." So he said, "No, no, these cannot be yours." I had not told him that
Yeah.
I can draw because I thought it's not a great thing to tell anybody. What is it?
Okay.
So then he said, then I said, no, no, these are my drawings. So he said, you're drawing so well, you should go to class and you should improve it. So for the first time in my life, somebody said, like, you can go to a drawing class. I was
Yeah.
so thrilled. So I joined and I went. And one very, very nice lady, young lady called Shilpa, she was my teacher, first teacher. And I was very scared to draw or paint because I thought there's something wrong with it because it was always forbidden. Then she said, no, I will make you draw and paint. Don't worry. So I must say, I'm eternally thankful to her that she opened up that door for me, you know. So after that, there was no stopping. I found that, it is like finding your true joy, your true love, right? Then
Yeah.
it's like,
Indeed.
it was like joy knew no bounds. Like I was just so happy. So then after that, for some years, I stopped painting because my children were growing up.
Yeah.
And I knew that my focus, if it is an art, it will not be fair. We were moving house, we were so many things happened. So I stopped painting. I put everything away. I locked it up. And then 16 years passed. I don't know how.
Okay.
And after
More
after
than a
16 years,
decade. More than a
yeah,
decade.
I mean, I couldn't believe how the time just passed. And after that, when my children, they went abroad for studies, and I had a lot of free time then my husband again, he said, now you should start drawing and painting again. So yeah, my husband said, you should learn, you should do it again. And I just said, no, my drawing painting days are over, and you know I can't get it back. And he said, no, you can. You just have to put your mind and just do it. So I was very reluctant. I thought, no, I can't draw, I can't paint anymore, all over. So then he did something very naughty, he put me into one competition. And he said, now you have to draw and paint something because I've already put, and here's the receipt for that. So then it was like I was sort of pushed into it.
Yeah.
Initially I got very angry with him. Then I thought, okay, he has done this. Now what shall I do? I better do something. I better paint. So second time again, I started painting in 2017. Now it's been 5 years. So when I started in 2017, I thought, what do I like to paint? This time, first time I painted whatever my teacher told me, right? Still life, flowers, sceneries, portraits, everything I learned. So second time, I thought, okay, there is no one to tell me what I should paint. Now let me paint what I like.
Okay.
So I realized I love animals, and we are bird watchers, and we go for, we keep going to the wildlife sanctuaries and all. So this time I said, let me focus on one thing, which is wildlife. And so I started with my birds because I love birds, and then I went on to the smaller animals. I went to the big cats. My tiger series I did was a lot of fun. So one by one, I'm doing all the animals. Each animal is, because it's a very precise art,
Yeah.
you have to understand each animal before you paint it, because you have to understand the anatomy, the texture, the fur. So many things are there. So it is a whole beautiful study for me. Now I'm doing a series on elephants, and I think
Yeah.
behind me you can see an elephant.
Yes, yes. It's really incredible. And I got to know you from that elephant peak that you have drawn from Kaziranga National Park. and I think you have posted within a day or two. So that picture caught my attention. I instantly means messaged you for the interview. So it was really incredible.
Thank
And
you.
I also would like to appreciate your husband for being so supportive for you in this passion line.
Yeah, no, 100% I have to appreciate my husband because I had lost my confidence, but he brought it back for me.
Yeah, that's really appreciative. I have noticed that your art is quite realism. So how difficult is it to bring that reality into an art?
Yes, my art is very realistic. So basically, I was just trying to read up on even like contemporary art, no? Like it says you have to, contemporary art means you have to feel it and understand it. But realistic art means you just look at it and you will understand it. Like I don't have to explain anything to anybody, right? So in realistic art, it takes a very long time and it's a very difficult thing because you can't take any shortcuts. See, like I don't trace, or there are many shortcuts people can take, but
Yeah,
I have been taught in the old fashioned way, the long way. So always my teachers would say the long way is the best way to learn, you
yeah,
know. So no tracing at all, and no projecting on the wall and then drawing. None of those I do everything from scratch.
yeah.
So it is difficult. It's difficult because it takes so much of effort to not only you have to get the animal correct, you have to get its background. Like this, what is in the back is a contemporary work. There is no background on it.
Okay.
But other ones which I can show you, the background is important. So that's called habitat. So in wildlife art, in a good wildlife art, you should have the animal in the correct habitat.
Yeah.
So doing sometimes the animal is easy, sometimes the habitat is very difficult.
Okay.
Like for example, I'll tell you, I did one snow leopard, and I had to do the snow leopard was not difficult because if you've done a few leopards and a few tigers, snow leopard is not very deal. Some adjustments you must make for the fur and colors, and then I had to do the background, which was a Himalayan background. And that took me such a long time because one particular mountain I was not getting it correct. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And it took me a very long time. So, wildlife art is a lot of fun for me because I love wildlife, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult because you have to get the not only the anatomy of the animal correct, but you have to get the background, the habitat correct. You must get the attitude. Like, when a leopard is sleeping on a tree, it has a certain way of the way it falls, the legs fall, the tail falls, the hangs down rather. You have to get that attitude correctly. And for me, that is the best challenge, that I should get that correct. And the other thing for me is that the eyes of the animal, if they are looking at from the canvas, they should look at you. That is what I like. And I make sure that my eyes are like very lively and that they almost like looking right into you.
So being a professional wildlife artist, how is the journey so far? So could you give us some insight into the scope in the professional field to the young aspirants?
So the journey so far has been wonderful in recognition. Number one, okay, let me go back. Number one, I'm doing what I love, right?
Yes.
So that way it is fulfilling in my heart. Number two, it has given me a lot of recognition. I mean, people, um, I was unknown by anybody because all I was doing was taking care of home and children and all these things. But then when I started becoming a wildlife artist and I started going out and showing my works, talking to people, I got a lot of recognition, and that I'm very grateful to God for giving me that, because I never knew what recognition was before.
Okay.
And financially, not yet. I'm not there yet. I sell a few things, but they're very low priced. And I know that if I take my wildlife art, if I take it abroad, I know I can make a lot of money because there's a big market for wildlife art. But I still haven't had that feeling that I want to take it abroad. I still want to be here. So financially, I can say not a great progress, but I have been recognized by two wildlife art societies, one in Canada, one in England. And that is a good recognition because that means that on the international stage also my wildlife art is good.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before you draw the animals, I have seen that you also go for safaris. You go for birding. So how all that excites you?
Yeah. So, yeah, I go a lot into, see, because you don't know which animal you will be asked to draw next. So, you really need to be going out to watch the birds and to watch the animals in their habitat. And many times I don't photograph. That's one thing I don't do because there are so many wonderful photographers who take really good photographs. So and there a lot of them are my friends. So when I want some reference, I just ask, give me reference of some. A lot of people are ready to give photographers, like they like, because I always give the credit to them, the photography credit. So I go on safaris at least few times in a year. Yeah, I we go on safaris very often, like at least 3-4 times a year we go for safaris. And since we are here near to this Nagakode
Okay.
Tiger Reserve, many of the safaris are here in Karnataka, but also Rajasthan, Ranthambore, also Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra and Assam, your place,
Yeah.
Kaziranga. um, yeah, it was beautiful. And then also we go to even non-wildlife places, but more of nature,
Yeah.
like last year, no, the year, yeah, last year we had been to um, Assam. We went to Bumla Pass.
Okay.
We went to Meghalaya. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the first time, I saw the Brahmaputra, which was
Okay.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we landed in where in Assam. Where do you land? I forget.
This one. International Airport, Guwahati.
Yes, Guwahati. So we landed in Guwahati, and my cousin was in Tezpur.
Okay.
She mapped a trip for us to Sela Pass, Bumla Pass,
Yeah.
Tawang. Then we went to Meghalaya and we went and saw the root bridges. It was just such a beautiful trip. Arunachal and Assam, Arunachal, and Meghalaya. We did 3 states. Uh, just a lovely trip. Not much of wildlife except Kaziranga.
Okay.
But if you want to even paint backdrops, you should really see them, right? Like
Yeah.
for my snow leopard or for the red panda and all those things, you have to paint like these mountainous backdrops. So you should really go and see them. So for me, more than traveling anywhere abroad, except of course I loved Africa, I loved Kenya, those wildlife places. But other than that, more than traveling abroad, I feel that there is so much to see in Bharat. So we go traveling, we go to all the, and in our list of places we want to go, like will be all the wildlife, like Jim Corbett. I'm waiting when I'll be able to go for Jim Corbett. So yeah, we go.
Yeah. Do you think that wildlife art is key to wildlife conservation?
Yes, I believe that wildlife art is key to because I have seen that, especially with children, because I work with a lot of children. Once you ask them to draw or paint an animal, it goes into their heart. Okay. And then they become, without even realizing it, they become conservationists, you know. So I found that if you, what is the word I'm looking, not educate, but just make them aware. Children, like, they love it. They love to, they, so I take them bird watching, like many government schools, some, not many, few. I work with them, and I take the children, like, bird watching. They don't know what is bird watching. Huh? We see the birds regularly. So I say, no, observe it because you have to draw it now. So I involve them in drawing, and then once they draw, then they start to want to preserve. So that one saying is there, no? You will have to learn about it to draw it. Once you draw it, you will learn to love it. Once you love it, you will want to preserve it. So I feel that wildlife art is very, very important, just like wildlife photography. It's also very important in people, sensitizing people to wildlife and wanting to make them preserve it. And I feel that once you make the children want to preserve the wildlife, then they are the next generation to come up and be the, the conservationists, the forest officers. And that's where I always, like, I target that the children should know that, we should preserve it. So yeah, it is key to preserving
Which paintings of yours do you consider as a masterpiece?
it. I've done. Would you like me to walk you through the house
Yeah,
and show, or no?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have my wildlife art around me because I just love it. So
Yeah,
that elephant you saw, I think behind me you will see one leopard,
okay.
right?
Wow,
Yeah, you can see.
that's a realistic pic.
And then you will see some birds, which I have done here.
Yeah, okay.
And the one which is a masterpiece, which is a huge big one, is this is a tigress with three cubs.
Yeah,
It is a big painting. It is 6 feet by 5 feet.
okay.
So that's my showstopper.
Okay.
And the
And
last
you do
one that
mostly
I
on
can show
canvas,
you,
right?
yeah, mostly on canvas. Sorry about a little messy place, but
Yeah, no worries.
can you see the can
Yes,
you see the
snow
snow
leopard.
leopard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
amazing. Yeah. So you use materials like watercolor, oil pastel.
yeah, I use materials like watercolor, charcoal, pencil, and powders, and oil on canvas. And I use also acrylics. Like, for example, this one that's behind me, the colors in the background are acrylic because acrylics dry fast. But the main elephant will be in oil. So that's called mixed media. So I use mixed media. I use just oil on canvas. I love oil. For me, I don't paint too much with acrylic. I love oil. Like that leopard which you saw was completely oil. My snow leopard is completely oil. And my tiger is completely oil, 5 feet by 6 feet tiger. So yeah, I paint. I think my number one choice is oil on canvas.
Well, Miss Sudhaji, we are to the end of this session, and I must say that you are truly an amazing personality. It was great interacting with you. All the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you, Pallavi. It was my pleasure to be here. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to interact with you and your guests. And all the best to you. If you have any time, any questions, come back to me and I'll be willing to answer. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And audience, this was Sudhaji from the field of software engineering as well as wildlife artist. Hope you like today's interview. I will be back to meet another eminent personality very soon. Till then, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye for now.